UFC 313 is a massive fight card with a lot of options to make a couple of bucks. We have a spectacular main event that has been in the works for a couple of years. Everybody said this fight would never happen, yet here we are just a few days away from the biggest pay-per-view of the year. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks, and I'm going to give you my PrizePicks entry for UFC 313. If you don't know what PrizePicks is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say more or less than any of the numbers you see on the screen, you slap a few together, and you can make a whole bunch of money. It's super easy, it's a ton of fun, and they will even give you free money to play. They'll give you $50 for free. The only thing you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, use promo code WWP, build yourself one tiny little measly $5 entry, and they'll give you $50, 50, instantly in your account, ready to go, that you can do whatever you want with. I'm going to give you an entry. Throw $5 at this. And as soon as you throw $5 at this, you will have 50 in your account that you can do anything you want with. See how easy that is? WeWantPicks.com/prizepicks, promo code WWP. I am filming this a little earlier in the week, and that's because I liked some of these lines. And as I mention every week, there's a delicate balance between attacking lines early and waiting for more lines to drop. This is not everything. We don't even have takedowns on the board yet. So later in the week, when they drop some takedowns, maybe we'll go ahead and build another entry. My advice to you is, if you see a line that you like early, or two, slap them together, throw in an entry. You could always come back and build another one. But once the line's gone, it's gone. So I'm going to build my entry right now. Later in the week, you get some takedown lines, and you don't know what to do, go to our website, wewantpicks.com. We have a tool on there called the Prop Hunter. The Prop Hunter has all sorts of stats that you can use. It'll show you the average number of takedowns in a decision that a fighter gives up or gets, average number of takedowns in their UFC career, average fight time, average significant strikes, in wins, in losses. You can see every data point that you want, very quickly zero in on it, compare it to the numbers you see on the screen, and then do more or less. Pretty straightforward process. That's available on the website. Just go to wewantpicks.com. And again, I'm doing this a little early because I like some of these lines. Maybe once they drop takedowns, a few others, there could be another entry to build. But let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to stick with significant strikes, and right off the rip, I like a couple of these. We're going to go more on Carlos Leal. The reality is Alex Morono gets hit a ton. He just gets hit a ton. He gives up a ton of significant strikes. Alex Morono will stand there. He'll swing. He won't grapple. So we can expect this to be a striking matchup. Carlos Leal, as we saw in his last fight, lands at an insane pace. He only has one fight in the UFC to do some data with, but he landed over 100 significant strikes in that fight. The line's 56 here. And that was over 100 in a fight where he was just getting shot on, held against the cage, taken down, held against the cage, taken down, shot on, over and over and over and over. This is a fight where somebody's actually going to engage with him on the feet, so I think he gets past this number. If we go down, the next one I like is the Les Anrai Tusura. He's the opposite. We have 4 fights of data to go off of. He has 1 official UFC fight, 3 fights under the Road to the UFC umbrella, which is like an international tournament that they held. And the reality is, Rai Tusura has never once, not once ever, in his 4 fights that we have data for, gotten to this 39.5 significant strike number. Ever. Not one time, ever. In his last fight, which is a full 3-round decision, he landed 17. Now, I understand this is a little bit of a different matchup, and the expectation is that he's not going to take down Josh Van 100 times. But the reality is, he's never, ever landed this many strikes, and all of a sudden he's going to land a ton? I don't think so. I don't see it happening. We're going to do the less. Some of these other lines interest me as well, but let's take a look. We got King Green, formerly Bobby Green, at 47.5. He is somebody that I was hovering over that more button for quite a while. The only reason I didn't quite pull the trigger is I'm not fully sold on Mauricio Ruffy just yet. I don't know how good he is or is not. In his last fight, he had a human punching bag standing in front of him that he didn't really get out of there. The fight before that, he looked unbelievable. So the question is, was that human punching bag just insanely durable? And would those shots have also just pitter-pattered off of Bobby Green, or would they have put Bobby out? Because Bobby's typically a high-volume guy. So if King Green, and I'm alternating between Bobby and King, if King Green can get his hands going, stays durable, he's going to cruise past 47.5. He's a high-volume guy. But if last fight was the exception to the rule, and James Yonta, Mauricio Ruffy's previous opponent, is just literally made out of cement, so you're not going to get him out of there, and King Green gets put out the same way he did by Jalen Turner just a few fights ago, then this line's going to get blown out. And that's why I'm not touching it. But that is another one on here that I saw and I wanted to jump all over. The rest of these are a little too risky in my opinion. Main event, nobody knows what's going to happen in that main event. If we get a takedown line on Magomed Ankalaev, I might do them more. Over on a different platform, we had 1.5 takedowns. So more on that would make sense. More than 1.5, I probably won't touch. Alex Pereira, 57.5. That's a good number if this fight goes long. If it doesn't go long, then who knows what we have. And finally, Rafael Fiziev, 79.5 significant strikes. Listen, their first fight was an absolute war. If this is a repeat of the first fight, then do the more on both of these guys. But I don't know if it's going to be. Justin Gaethje was just unconscious on the mat. Fiziev has been out for a year for a knee injury. We just have to leave the rest of these alone. I'm going to stick with these 2 significant strike lines. If we move over to fight time minutes, obviously no lady fights. If there were, we would smash that more with no hesitation whatsoever. What we do have is 12 minutes on Carlos Leal. You could do the more here if you don't trust the strike line, but I trust the strike line. If this was 10, that'd be a little different. 12, I mean, it's 2 extra minutes. It's not that big of a deal. I think it goes to a decision, but I'm going to stick with the strike line. 10.5 fight minutes for Arman and Bruno. I'm going to leave that alone. That fight could end in 1 minute. What I do like is the Ignacio Bahamondes line. 11.5 fight minutes. I like the more there. I think this fight is going to start with a feeling out process. I don't think these guys go right at it. And that's because they're both insanely tall at 6'3". That's ridiculous length at this weight class. And they're not used to fighting somebody as long as they are. So I think they're going to be feeling out that range, trying to gauge, find the distance. Both of them are pretty durable guys. Yes, Jalen Kerner just got TKO'd, but that wasn't on the feet. That was on the ground. And also, Jalen Turner had a full adrenaline dump. He had his opponent knocked out. He walked away, celebrated. Full adrenaline dump. He was cashing the fight of the night bonus before that fight was over. And then it wasn't over. And he had to go back out there and continue to perform. This time with no adrenaline whatsoever. So I'm not going to take that fact that Jalen was finished in his last fight and hold it against him here. I think this fight goes a little long. It may even go to a full-blown decision. So I'm going to go ahead and do the more on fight time. And this is my entry. I've already got it built. Let's go ahead and take a look. I've got one open lineup here, and that's what we did. We got Rai Taisura less than 39.5 significant strikes. Carlos Leal more than 56.5 significant strikes. And then the more on the Ignacio Bahamondes fight minutes. This is my entry. If you like it, great. Copy it. Build it. If you don't, that's fine. Build your own. But the most important thing here is get your free money. Go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks. Use promo code WWP. Get the free money. And then let me know how you did. Good luck this weekend.